Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So I went out to my local Lidl supermarket and I picked up this Crivit Float / bottom fishing set. So this is for fishing on the bottom for larger fish such as carp and eels, and also float fishing for larger fish too. So in this video we're going to be taking a look at what you get in this set. Right, so here we have the Crivit Float / bottom fishing set for carp and eel, and it includes a battery, 1x 3-volt battery, because it has an LED float included for night fishing, and this is a 78-piece set according to the box. So it comes in a nice case. Let's quickly measure the case. The tackle box is around 23 centimeters long, or just over 9 inches by about 12 centimeters, or just under 5 inches in depth. And the height of the box is around 3 centimeters, or about 1¼ inches. Nice smoked grey plastic box with the Crivit branding etched into the top. It's got these 2 clips which open it up. There's some paperwork inside, and you've got a nicely packed little tackle box here. So starting at the top then, a nice big float here. It's got a nice orange fluorescent end on it, plastic tube top, a bit like a Drennan crystal, and fluorescent yellow here. Quite a European style or American style float, not really the type of float I see very much in the UK, but cool looking float. Nice big float for some float fishing, but fishing for larger fish, so you're going quite deep maybe, or you've got quite a heavy bait on. You might be quite far out, you need a good indication. That would be good for that sort of thing. Here's a closer look at this float. 5 gram, nice blue paintwork, nicely made float, fluorescent yellow, and then you've got that nice tubing. The orange top is just like a plastic cover. Nice looking float. So next up we have this strange looking little device. I think this is how they keep the little beads. So it's got a little loop on it with some wire, and there's beads on here. I'm guessing that you can just undo these and take the beads off. So there's various little beads there to use with your setups to protect your knots, that sort of thing. You also get a disgorger, like a European style disgorger with big ends on it. Both of these ends are for larger fish, so not good for silver fishing, good for carp, bigger hooks. Here's the disgorger, that's the larger end going down to this smaller end. Here is the float that has an LED in it for night fishing. It says on it Delta Sport, Germany, 3-volt. So I've never had a light up float before for night fishing. Again, nice and big, easy to see at night, I'm assuming. Looks quite good. Wouldn't be very happy if I got this snagged in a tree or lost it. Here's a closer look at the LED float. There's the little swivel on the bottom. Here's the main body of the float. There's a plus and a minus there. I think that's telling you which way the battery goes in. And then the light up part here, as you can see. So to turn this off, I think you have to just open it and twist this battery and then it will go off. It's got some little rubber gaskets in there to stop the water getting in and get into that battery. But this could be used without the battery, I'm guessing, as a normal float. At night I think it would be a great indicator. You'd be able to see this all over the lake. So there are actually some instructions that show you which way up the battery needs to go. The little pointy bit goes up into the top of the float. This screws over the top. Here is the float on. There's a light coming out at the top of it, and all this part here lights up too. So next up we have some sort of bait needle. It's got your standard end where you push through bait, and then you close the little hinge for boilies, that sort of thing, pulling hair rigs through bait, but it doesn't really have an end on it. So I haven't seen this kind of style before. It's just got a point on one end. Maybe that's to pierce through the bait, and then the other end is to pull the hair rig through. I'm not sure about that. There's also a bag of beads and rubbers, float rubbers and beads. So if there's a bag of beads and then here there's some more beads, I'm not really sure why this has been included. Not something I'm familiar with. If you know, please let me know in the comments section. And then there's this little bit of steel or metal tubing with a swivel on it, sort of helicopter rig style. Good for bottom feeding, I think, for bream, that sort of thing. Keeps your main line away from the rig so that they don't tangle up when you're casting. It kind of allows it to rotate around. I think, at least I think that's what it is anyway. Again, another European style bit of tackle. And then there are two weights, 40, I'm guessing, grams and 30 grams. Quite nice. Moving on to the hooks, there's a pack of hooks. These look like about a size 4. Quite big hooks with barbs on. Good for catching eels, larger fish. Then there's a pack of large swivels, quite well made, beefed up swivels. Oh, and there's some smaller swivels in there as well. So a selection of sizes of swivels. There's another packet of hooks. These are smaller. These are probably a size 6 or an 8, maybe. Here there's just some sponge to stop the weights bashing around in transit. Then we have 2 packets of hooks to nylon, pre-tied hooks. So you get a lot of hooks in this kit. This says size 1 and this says size 3. Yeah, size 1. Very big hooks there. Can't imagine ever using them in the UK unless sea fishing. They're a bit too big for the odd carp. The size 3 ones are more realistic. But 2 packets of hooks to nylon. There's 10 hooks in each pack. And then you get a little box of lead shot. Well, I don't think they're lead, but they used to be lead. Some kind of metal shot, quite shiny. You get 0.4 grams, 0.6 grams, 0.8 grams and 1 gram. Again, useful to put around your hook just to keep it on the bottom and to weigh down your float. And then finally there's a small spool of line, 30 meters of 0.28mm diameter line or 6.5 kilo breaking strain line, so pretty strong line, and it's in like a burgundy, dark browny, maroon type colour, like muddy colour. I like that colour, so good for making rigs, pre-made rigs, or using to tie a hair rig in advance and then adding it to your main line. So the case itself looks pretty good too. It's got two dividers here that you can put in different locations of the box, so you can move that around depending on what you're storing in here. It's quite well made. The clasps are quite easy to open. Okay, so that is about it then for this video. So I think you get quite a lot of stuff in this set. Great for larger fish, carp, eels, larger bream. You've got the bigger floats. You can fish at night with the night float, which is a bit of a novelty, but it's quite interesting. It's nice and bright, so it should be very good with visibility in the evening times. You get plenty of hooks, plenty of swivels, you've got some weights, disgorger, floats, pretty much everything you need to make a rig setup for fishing on the bottom or float fishing for larger fish. And you also get a nice little tackle box. It's quite small and compact, so you can get everything in there. So a nice little set. Let me know what you think, and if you did find this video useful, remember to like and also consider subscribing for more fishing related videos. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.